still shilling for gold on Fox News?
They still are shilling for gold. The economy's going bad. Here we go. Fox News.
The conclusion of the blockbuster defamation trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard did not disappoint. The jury finding that both Hollywood stars defamed one another, with Depp emerging as the big victor, Johnny Depp being awarded $15 million after jurors unanimously decided that Amber Heard libeled him with actual malice when she wrote the 2018 Washington Post op-ed identifying herself as a victim of domestic abuse. Heard racking up a win on her counterclaim, with the jury deciding she was defamed by Depp's agent, who called her abuse allegations a hoax. Heard's being awarded $2 million, but is calling the ruling a setback for women. Depp wasn't there to celebrate. He was too busy rocking out in London, but he did release a statement, quote, "False, very serious and criminal allegations were levied at me via the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content.
He's right.
Although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on my life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave me my life back. I'm truly humbled."
Now, this I think is an important point because people, I think, fail to realize this. This guy's been going through this for 6 years. Yeah. He was considered a wife beater. Today, right? Today is the first day that he can come out and say, "I wasn't. I got some. She's proven. You know, I proved that she lied." So to make this seem like she was kind of raked over the coals for nothing, we believed her, right? She was believed, just like they're saying. And their issue is not that she was believed. Right, because Amber Heard was believed. People, they're trying to say Amber Heard wasn't believed. She was believed for 6 years. The issue was it was evaluated, and we found that it was bullshit. That's the big concern now.
No, we're blessed on the Five to have some sound legal minds here, people that have actually gone to law school. One was even a judge. So let's go to probably the most legitimate legal mind here, Jesse.
Yes.
Were you surprised by this verdict?
Oh, he's actually going.
I'm actually going to. He said, "Come to me last." He said, "Come to me last."
I have followed this trial so closely. Where to begin?
Well, remember what we talked about at the beginning, that how Depp was willing to risk his reputation as a drunk in order to erase the reputation of being an abuser. So he was willing to lay everything out there and say, "I will let you make fun of me for the pills and whatever, but I'm not an abuser." And that's what he did.
It's kind of like the Russia hoax with Trump.
Right.
You know, they come out, they smear you with false allegations, and you never get your reputation back.
No,
so you have to sue. And that's what the president likes to do. Very similar. I haven't followed this as closely as the Sussman trial, but
Well, I'd be happy to talk about that.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll bet you would.
We are talking about
there in a minute.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp used to be this great actor that could have any role he wanted to. He was this eclectic guy that did Edward Scissorhands and these oddball roles, but pulled it off really artistically. And then he hit pay dirt when he did these Disney films, you know, where he played the pirate, and that he was gold. He was a made man in Hollywood, and she came and destroyed his life and did something to a bed, I heard. Not really sure the details, but apparently she just got thrashed by his lawyers in court. And when you can afford good lawyers, they'll thrash your opponent. And that's what happens. And she was a very, very bad witness. And it looks like this was a correct judgment.
Yeah, she did not come off as
I just haven't seen 10 seconds of the trial.
They haven't. You know, the funny part about it is that I like how the tone here is different. The tone on all the other channels were, hey, you know, this is going to affect women, blah, 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 blah.
The hand wringing and the,
And this one is, it's a different tone. The tone is, hey, she was a bad witness. The evidence didn't support her, and this was a just verdict, right? So here they're steering right into evidence, facts, this. The other side is steering into what does it mean for some woman out there who may be thinking this, right? So it's interesting how they pick the different ones. Emily Baker was on the CBS this morning. Okay.
Cool.
I had to check that out. But we're gonna finish watching this.
I don't know if she probably couldn't even get the role playing herself in this trial at this point.
I feel like the jury, if you wanted to, did not ring.
Oh, that's probably true.
Unbreaded mofo.
imagine? Nobody would go watch it. Amber Heard plays Amber Heard in
Who
the
are we going
Depp.
to choose to be Amber Heard? Amber Heard? Fuck no!
No. She'll kill our movie. And she lies. Oh my God.
True. What she was saying clearly
Fox
with this decision
News.
they've made, I got to tell you, all the things that we cover in the news, and a lot of it's inside baseball in Washington and New York and all these things. When I was with a bunch of friends in Nashville this weekend, this was the #1 topic at dinner. By the way, this was right after someone across the restaurant pointed to me and said, "Hey, look, it's Evil Shannon Bream."
Yes.
That actually happened at
It
the restaurant.
sticks.
But
As it should.
people were absorbed. They had watched this. You know, so many trials aren't televised, but they were, the consensus at the table was she was really manipulative and that they didn't buy it. And none of us had been big Johnny Depp fans before this started. But once I started to watch the testimony, I thought, if I was a juror, I haven't seen every minute of this, but I have real questions about what she's had to say. And now the jury apparently agreed. She now says, she's upset about this. And she says, I seem to have lost a right I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly.
But that statement, that when she said that, the one thing, you don't have a right to defame anybody. Just don't. You don't have a right to defame anybody. And I think that's the problem that keeps coming up, because she's saying, I lost the right. You didn't lose a right. You
never had the
defamed
right.
somebody. Yeah, you never had the right to defame. And defamatory statements aren't protected speech. And that's the problem. And I think that people need to understand there is a difference between protected speech under the First Amendment and speech that's not protected. You can't just go out there and make up lies about people. That's not protected speech. Even though I think it's a good catchphrase for them now.
Well,
So,
I think
he is not conceding anything.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was going to say that the First Amendment is, I mean, just by virtue of even being #1 on the amendment list, is one of the most precious things we have in law.
Yeah.
But it's also probably the most misunderstood. I mean, people say, you go on a Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatever. I have a First Amendment right, and if you don't want me on your platform, that's censorship. No, it's not. It's a private space. They can control. We don't know what freedom of speech means. We think we know what it means, and I think the vast majority of people don't truly understand what it is.
Yep. Because I think most people think when you say freedom of speech, that's freedom for me to say whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want, and that's just not. And that's not the case. That's not free speech. That's just speech, right? You just say whatever you want. Free speech is there are certain things you can't say. I can't threaten to kill people, right? I can't call in bomb threats. Like, there's certain things you can't say or you'll be held accountable. So there's a difference between free speech and protected speech, and I think hopefully people will understand what protected speech is not just because you can say it doesn't mean it is free speech.
Yeah, and okay, I'll go through it.
Well, she used the Me Too movement, and now she's betrayed the Me Too movement. You can't believe all women is basically what this case is saying. Judge, you were right from the beginning. I'm going to go ahead and say that when we first covered this. You said, I don't believe that lady. Those were your words. Yes. And you turned out to be vindicated.
Sounds like us.
Yeah, look, I don't believe her. Like, his first thing you said, I don't believe that lady. Now she's vindicated. Judge, I like to hear Judge Janine, because she cut through all the BS.
Yes,
exactly.
Look, here's the bottom line. For this woman to come out and say it's a setback for women, I think she needs to understand one thing.
Like that.
That what she did was harmful to real victims of domestic violence. And I'm sorry for saying it again. I started the first domestic violence unit in the nation. I have dealt with battered women for 30 years.
Don't be sorry.
As soon as she started, it was clear she was not the victim. She was the abuser. And Johnny Depp had lawyers who could take her on. This Camila Vasquez was right on target with her. The tape recordings where she said, Johnny, you going to be a baby? Are you going to tell everybody I didn't hit you hard enough? It was difficult for this man to make a decision to put his whole life on the table, but he had nothing to lose. And when they said to him, what have you lost as a result of what she did? He said nothing short of everything. And so she tried to promote herself as being part of the Me Too movement, that here I am, a woman who's being abused. And she said, the defense was, we didn't know it was about Johnny Depp. Are you kidding? 2 years earlier, she tried to get a temporary restraining order against him, and it was in all the newspapers. But she was impossible to believe. And I would tell a jury as a judge, if you find that one witness has testified falsely with respect to one fact, you are free to disregard their entire testimony. This woman lied over and over again, and I feel free to say that on television. She lied. She was a liar. She was the abuser, and he was the victim. And let me just say one more
Go
thing.
ahead, Judge.
Damn.
This burden, which is not only proof that he was defamed, that she was talking about him, but that she was malicious. That jury had to really see right through her to say she was malicious. And they found for him 10 million compensatory, 5 million punitive damages. That's to punish you, Amber Heard.
Yeah.
For taking on this guy, destroying his life. So
Bring
you can
it.
be part of the Me Too movement. Don't give me this stuff. It's a setback for women. You do not represent women. You represent the worst of women who try to falsely blame men. And that's the end.
Boom!
How do you really
Judge
feel, Judge?
Janine ribbed her.
That's like mushroom cloud
Wow.
level stuff there. Holy crap.
Judge Janine totally ribbed her. And the funny thing is, I think everything she said was true, was honest.
Can't
Right?
fault it.
That she literally said everything that was true. There's another friend, Eric Hunley from Eric and Nate. What's going on, Eric?
What's up? Nate and Eric, dude. Nate and Eric.
How did you, Nate and Eric? Hey, did you just watch Janine drop that bomb on us? What'd you
Well,
think?
that she's a liar, and yeah, they're just reporting it accurately, and everybody's shocked.
So it's MSNBC, right?
Dang. Now she's gonna get charged with violence.
Good.
That was a beatdown.
Yeah, that was a beatdown. But it was all factual though. It was all factual, right? This is what it's about.
Well, I was watching your bit with Elaine earlier, and I'm just thinking that she's insulting everybody's intelligence.
Yes.
It's infuriating.
Yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Lawyers
And-
win
and
zero
she's-
prizes by throwing the bus and the jury under the bus. Zero prizes.
She threw the judge on the bus too. The judges don't know what she's doing. The jury don't know what they're doing. The people online don't know what they're doing.
But she is Amber's
that knows what
lawyer.
they're doing is Amber Heard.
She's an older Amber. I mean, she's literally. I mean, remember, Amber said they're lying, they're lying, they're wrong, they're wrong. She doesn't internalize a single thing. Well, that sounds like Elaine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Same person.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's truly scary that even when you're able to prove beyond doubt that somebody is lying about this stuff, that they can there's still going to be people out there saying that they are correct. It's just I'm a facts guy, and it's a shame that.
Well, that's your downfall right
Well,
there.
we have
You're
people
a
still
fact
supporting
guy.
Juicy.
That's true.
I
That's
mean,
true. We still got
my
people
God.
supporting Juicy. Let's see what the next person on Fox is. This is actually the best recap of the whole thing, even though I don't think they've watched much of it. But Judge Janine, she said exactly what I've been saying.
End of it.
There you go. Jessica, two-part question. Johnny Depp obviously was not there. Was that a dumb idea or a bold idea in the sense that maybe he was giving her, the big FU? You're stuck in Fairfax. I'm in London, and you're going to lose. And the second question is, should Joe Biden be impeached?
What?
Answer the first one. Second one first.
She's the Democrat.
I'm going to not do that. I'm going to go with the first one and then say whatever I want.
Okay.
It was both a bold and a dumb idea at the same time. I thought that it didn't really have to do with sticking it to Amber Heard. His lawyers did that, and he did it through the entire trial by being so composed and so open and honest. And I wanted to add to what you were saying originally and what the judge pointed out. He didn't actually just lay it all bare. He talked about being abused by his mother and that his mother abused his father as well. And watching a man, and
Yes.
I hate for this to have to be gendered, but it is. We talk about domestic abuse all the time, and it's usually in the context of women, but it is so much harder for a man, especially a man with that kind of reputation, right? He's a heartthrob. He's Kate Moss on the stand, right? And then we're all going back and looking at pictures of them together
So right.
to lay that out there. And it reminded me of when Terry Crews testified on Capitol Hill and talked about being abused. That is not easy. And I hope that makes us also more open to considerations of how much abuse men endure in society, both physical and emotional and verbal abuse. So bold and stupid because he had fans that were camped out at that trial. People remember that woman paying $30,000 every day. And I think that you show up and you say, thank you for supporting me and kind of completing the arc of the entire trial. But I was shocked. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. This seemed much higher than I expected. Right. I thought that he was going to win. I did not know that it was going to be $15 million. And I will be interested to see what the first movie is that he gets cast in. You know, how quickly he's able to be rehabilitated.
Maybe a Fox Nation special or something like that.
I think that would be.
You know what? Yeah. It's funny because I give Fox News a lot of crap, but they seem a lot more reasonable in what they're saying versus what we just heard on MSNBC and the Today Show. Right? It's kind of like even their leftist person is saying, you know, this is
not a left-right issue. It's not a left-right issue, and that's the issue. The problem you and I have talked about it, Nate. People keep trying to make it a right-wing thing or left or right-wing thing. You have left and right people here. They're just saying this is an issue between two people, and this is what happened, and who won. It has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with two people. One person lied and got the other one in trouble, essentially.
Yeah, essentially that's exactly what happened.
Amazing. Yeah, great trials of the past. I'm your host, Johnny Depp.
I love it.
Or Pirates. You could do a whole thing on Pirates.
For America.
I think we have the budget for it. You should see what they're paying me at Fox Nation.
I read about that.
Yeah, yes.
So I think they're closing up. We're going to watch the last 2 seconds. But so who do you think this question right now is going to be? Who do you think did it better? Do you think it was MSNBC or Fox?
Clearly Fox. I mean,
Clearly
Fox is the only one who actually did it. I mean, you have to first meet the baseline, and then you can determine worth. But
I'm gonna go back and listen to Judge Janine's thing again. That was really good because she really kind of just laid it out. But that's why she used to be a judge.
Much like Mr. Depp.
That what she did was harmful to real victims of domestic violence. And I'm sorry for saying it again. I started the first domestic violence unit in the nation. I have dealt with battered women for 30 years. As soon as she started, it was clear she was not the victim. She was the abuser. And Johnny Depp had lawyers who could take her on. This Camilla Vasquez was right on target with her. The tape recordings where she said, Johnny, you going to be a baby? Are you going to tell everybody I didn't hit you hard enough? It was difficult for this man to make a decision to put his whole life on the table, but he had nothing to lose. And when they said to him, what have you lost as a result of what she did? He said nothing short of everything. And so she tried to promote herself as being part of the Me Too movement, that here I am, a woman who's being abused. And she said, you know, the defense was, we didn't know it was about Johnny Depp. Are you kidding? 2 years earlier, she tried to get a temporary restraining order against him, and it was in all the newspapers. But she was impossible to believe. And I would tell a jury as a judge, if you find that one witness has testified falsely with respect to one fact, you are free to disregard their entire testimony. This woman lied over and over again, and I feel free to say that on television. She lied. She was a liar. She was the abuser, and he was the victim. And let me just say one more thing. For him to take on this burden, which is not only proof that he was defamed, that she was talking about him, but that she was malicious. That jury had to really see right through her to say she was malicious. And they found for him 10 million compensatory, 5 million punitive damages. That's to punish you, Amber Heard.
Yeah.
For taking on this guy's life and destroying his life so you could be part of the Me Too movement. Don't give me this stuff. You know, it's a setback for women. You do not represent women. You represent the worst of women who try to falsely blame men. And that's.
You know what I want?
Yeah.
I want Judge Janine to interview Elaine.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be fire. But as soon as Elaine would say something, it'd be like, no, I know, Judge. It would just be, that would be a bloodletting.
Oh, my God. Well, that it's insane how I think everybody's trying to make this political, but it's not political. This is not a political issue, and I don't know why the left is making this political. No, don't get me wrong. I understand they want to preserve what's left of Me Too, because I do think Me Too has a place in our society, but I don't think it has a place to change the fact that we need to have some due process. Allegations alone don't mean the person did it. That means that somebody's making allegations, and we got to look further into it. And you can have an Amber Heard who just took advantage of it. She just said, I'm going to take advantage of it and just say he did it. And if they don't believe me, then you're a misogynist who's killing who doesn't believe women. And that's essentially the story that they've made, right? She couldn't lose this case, essentially. If she wins, he's an abuser. If she loses, the world is misogynist and we got farther to go. It's a beautiful spin, right? To the way you can't lose, but it's not reality.
I've got an answer. Keep Me Too, drop believe her. And that solves it. Because Me Too is just saying, acknowledge that we're here. It's like that old, I hate to use a Reagan quote because they become political, but trust but verify. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like every claim should be thoroughly investigated, period. And it should be taken seriously. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean it's an automatic, charges are not convictions. They're charges.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be default believing someone just because of their plumbing or whatever else. I mean, that's absurd.
That is just believe him because they essentially it's believe the gender. Don't believe the person, right? Believe the gender, which is ridiculous.